Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, as you guys can see up on the screen. Today, I wanted to talk about Sofi Technologies Incorporated once again. And you guys knew this video was coming. There's some big stuff to talk about today. And like you can see, this thing was up 13.68% on the day. That is where we have closed. Intraday, we were up even higher. We started out opening at 1438. Our high of the day was 1439. We traded kind of in a crazy range between 1439 and 1337. End up, ending a little bit in the middle there again at 1371. This is a very big jump. By far the biggest day of 2022 for SoFi. It's crazy. Even after a 14% day, we are still down year to date on SoFi. Obviously, the reason it's up so big today, if you guys haven't heard already, I made videos about it yesterday. The bank charter has now been officially announced. It is SoFi Bank is now official, and this has people excited in a lot of different ways. This should hopefully help them, get closer to profitability, get to profitability sooner. It should help them be able to offer more competitive interest rates. It should, cut out the middlemen in a sense for them. It should allow them to make more revenue, again, get closer and closer to profitability, reach profitability faster, add legitimacy to their name and as a kind of financial institution. Good news in so many different ways, and it finally got announced. But again, people have been, anticipating this and hyping this up for a while. And the fact that we only jumped up to 1371, that's interesting. I'm assuming people expected maybe a bigger jump here. One interesting thing to point out is that, the markets have not been doing great, and the markets did not do great today either. Dow Jones down 1%, S&P down 1%, NASDAQ down over 1%, Russell down 1.6%. So I'm curious to see, what if the S&P was up 1% today? What if the S&P was up 2% today? Just how good would SoFi have done? I think it was definitely limited a little bit by an overall bearish market. But again, there was people really hyped up and excited for SoFi in this bank charter when this stock was $18, when this stock was $15, when this stock was, $23, when this stock was as high as $28, $26 at the 52-week high. So the fact that we now have this bank charter in place, and there hasn't been a ton of bad news for SoFi. Things haven't really changed negatively overall for the business model, the future, anything like that. I think people are going to be really excited, and just understanding that, some people are like, hey, it's up 13% today. I missed the bank charter news. No, this bank charter, how good or bad this is for SoFi is really going to play out still over the next coming years. And just understanding that we are still 10% off 52-week lows. If you believe in this stock and think the bank charter is a huge, massive deal and think this stock's going to grow insane in the next, year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, still, at least in my opinion, when I'm looking at this from my own investment perspective, still seems like a really great buying opportunity if you believe in all this stuff. If you believe it's going where some people think it's going. Obviously, if you don't believe in that stuff, then, that would change the whole thing. But very big deal. Very massive news. Yes, 13% is a big day. Yes, it is the biggest day in the past few weeks for SoFi. But, if people are right about this thing, if people are right about just how much this is going to mean to SoFi, then there could still potentially be a lot more room to run for the stock. And I think that's pretty exciting and interesting. There was this clip posted to the SoFi stock subreddit of the CEO, Anthony Noto, talking about what exactly the bank charter, is and could mean for SoFi. So I wanted to play this now to go over this. Yeah, this is obviously a good time to go over this is an old clip, old interview, old information, but still good to know about, what the CEO is saying, the bank charter is and could be for this company. So I wanted to play that real quick.
Sure. So the bank charter is a really important strategic element for us. It does a couple things. First, we lend quite a bit of money. In order to lend that money, we use our own capital. We also borrow money from traditional banks, 24 banks, which is through a warehouse facility. The cost of that funding impacts how much revenue we generate and how much profit. When you become a bank, you're allowed to use the deposits of your customers to fund loans. And the cost of the deposits of your customers is meaningfully lower than the cost that we pay banks, because they're actually lending SoFi their customers deposits because they are a bank and they can do that. So they charge me much more than they give the consumer. So in checking or savings, maybe they're giving their deposit customers in checking 10 to 20 basis points of interest rate. They're then charging me 200 to 300 basis points to borrow that money to then lend to a consumer or member that we have. When we have a bank license, our costs will drop to the cost that they have to begin with. So that'll allow us to give our members lower interest rates on personal loans and on student loans, which will increase our point of difference meaningfully. The second benefit we get is because our cost of funding is going down, we can actually give a higher rate of interest on checking and savings. And when we first launched SoFi Money, our interest rate was 2.25% on all of your cash, not just what was being used for checking and not just what was in savings. It was on all of your cash. And there was no restrictions on your cash, which you typically do have when you put your money into a high yield savings account. So no restrictions on your cash and no fees. And we also offer benefits like ATMs that are free within the network. So high interest rate when we launched, no fees, great functionality. Pay from your phone, person-to-person payments, electronic bill pay. We don't even send a physical check for you if you wanted us to. And you can do ACH and everything you want.
So obviously a very, very big deal. You know, he hits on a couple things there. Again, when he was talking about it back then, it was, hey, hypothetically, if we get this thing done. But now that it's done, it's, hey, here's what it's actually going to do. It's going to lower costs. It's going to make them a more attractive overall service, which could increase overall users, members, and everything like that. And it's going to be able to increase interest rates for them. So people who are already in the SoFi network, they're going to be loving this, and that's going to be attracting more new people in, and for the people that they already have in, it's going to help SoFi save money. So it's really a win on at least three fronts, but you got to assume it's going to be even more than that. So it is really, really massive. It's a huge improvement from where SoFi was previously. So again, if you already loved the company, if you loved the stock before, you should love them a whole lot more now, especially because you don't have to worry about whether or not this bank charter is happening anymore, or when it's happening, or whatever. Some other news regarding SoFi stock. This is just not really news. This is kind of a discussion post on the subreddit. Some people thinking that an app UI redesign will be coming soon. A lot of people have mentioned SoFi's outdated UI and why they haven't updated their app yet. Again, that is a big reason why a lot of people are put off to this. Not a lot of people, but at least some people are put off because, they don't love the user interface of SoFi and they think it looks a little dated. And, you know, for like a super futuristic growth fintech company to have outdated UI, that's definitely a big issue and something that they definitely need to work on, increasing that overall user experience. So, some people are saying, hey, maybe they've just been waiting for the bank charter. Now that they have this in place, hey, maybe we can start getting some other changes and stuff. I know that SoFi Hong Kong, some people have talked about this previously, actually has a different user interface that some people seem to like a lot more. So maybe they'll, begin collaborating a little bit, be able to work on something together and get something thrown together. But, hey, I don't know. It seems likely that now that, they are going to be a bank and they're going to be expecting all this new user growth and have all these awesome benefits of that now would be a perfect time to come out with a UI redesign. Some other big news is that SoFi overtook GameStop as Wall Street Bets most talked about stock after getting the go ahead to launch a bank. This is a huge story. Obviously, Wall Street Bets is an insanely massive subreddit, insanely massive investing community, and GameStop has been the talk of the town for months and months and months, if not almost years at this point, it seems like, at least. And again, people recognize how big of a deal this bank charter is for SoFi. People are hyped up and excited about SoFi in the short term and in the long term. Again, especially when a stock has been beaten down this bad, a lot of people see this as an awesome buying the dip opportunity. And again, people on the internet, people on social media are talking about this one. I thought this was interesting. That SoFi is, at least for today, the number one stock on Wall Street Bets. We also had this. Rosenblatt Securities adjusts SoFi Technologies price target from $30 to $28, and they keep the buy rating. So that's kind of interesting that after this new bank charter news comes out, they've actually dropped the price target. But like some other people are saying, they've dropped their price target to $28. We are currently sitting at $13. Most people investing right now in SoFi at $13 would love to see this at $28. So people are not too concerned about this. People are like, hey, at least they didn't drop it to 25. At least they didn't drop it to 20. At least they didn't drop it to 15. All numbers that are above where it's sitting at currently. Yes, it's kind of weird that they didn't increase it off the bank charter news, but the stock has also dropped a lot. I don't know when exactly they made their price target 30, but the stock could have been a lot higher than 12 or 13 or whatever at that time. So that is kind of interesting there. And again, I think a lot of people are happy to hear that because, again, they kept the buy rating. That's awesome. And still, they're shooting for $28, which would make a lot of people happy at this point. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about SOFI. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace. Peace.